What is up, YouTube? I'm Galdite74 here, bringing you our Week 5 battle for the IBA. In this week, we are taking on the Vegas Golden D-nites in that beautiful logo that was on screen. That is one of my favorite logos in draft I've ever seen. Coached by Davian. His link will be in the description below, as well as every other coach. I'm quite excited for this battle. I've watched a few of his battle videos, and I gotta say, I really like the quality and the way he thinks throughout his battle, because he does live comps and on his videos, so make sure to go check him out. We are both going into this battle with a 3-1 record, so obviously he's a pretty good battler. I'm doing pretty good this season, and it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. I would just quickly shout out Aaron for recording this battle this week. The background is amazing for this game. The quality is just so good, as it always is, from him, and then Nick for joining my team, because again, I can't do it on my own. So big shout out to those two. Couldn't be in this league without them too. So that's it for those introductions. I'm going to go over my team real quickly, and then I'll explain a little bit why I brought what I brought, and then we'll get into the battle. So first, I brought here a Raikou with Expert Belt with the moves Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Extra Sensory, and Toxic. Skarmory with Stealth Rock, Iron Head, Drill Peck, and Roost with a Rocky Helmet. Toxapex with Scald, Sludge Wave for cover, and Toxic Spikes. Sharpedo with Liquidation, Crunch, Poison Jab, Protect. It is his first time coming with a Life Orb. Hippowdon with Earthquake, Crunch, Slack Off, and Whirlwind, and Serena with U-Turn, Power Whip, High Jump Kick, and Knockoff. Now, this is definitely an unusual set. The first thing you notice is that we do not have Mega Lopunny this week. I originally did have Mega Lopunny on this team, but I did decide in the end to take it off because I realized that Sharpedo really has a good matchup against this team this week. If I can get things chipped down a lot, Sharpedo can easily come in and just clean up the game. The only reason that might be stopped is due to rolls not going my way, or of priority, like Lycanroc priority, Zeraora's got priority. By the way, his team consists of Mega Latias, Zeraora, Tapu Bulu, Heatran, Milotic, Togekiss, Chestnut, Acelgor, Lycanroc Day, Exploud, and Muck. So that's his team. So yeah, with a quick view over, can't talk. He's got Mega Latias, which is that's just threatening right there. So prepping this team was kind of tough. Again, like I said, the reason I didn't bring Lopunny was because it did good against the Heatran and the Exploud and Lycanroc, but that was it, because Chestnut walls it, Togekiss walls it, Mega Latias basically walls it, Tapu Bulu can wall it, Milotic walls it, so it just got walled by so much to the point where I just decided not to bring it in the end. And the good thing is, whatever Sharpedo doesn't really hit, Raikou can hit really well. So those two actually work really well together in this battle this week. So that's kind of it for my team. I can kind of stack my hazards on him, so that's going to work out in my favor. Any other extra details? We got Skarmory's physically bulky, Toxapex especially bulky, Hippowdon's kind of mixed for the Latias. So that's kind of it for the team, and now we're going to go right into the battle. Okay, so we're going to get into this battle now. First thing I realized was that he did not have the Exploud and he did not have the Milotic. Milotic was the biggest thing stopping Sharpedo from kind of cleaning up his team, so I'm glad I didn't see that. And Exploud with Boombrish just absolutely wrecks my team, so I'm also glad I didn't see that. I really like his whole outfit. It's really cool, nice and yellow. And this background is, again, courtesy to Aaron. It's absolutely amazing. But I led with my Raikou because since Milotic's not here, it does a little bit less work. So I decided just to send it in, and first turn I'll just click Extra Sensory because, again, Sharpedo has kind of a hard time against Chestnut, so getting really good damage against this thing would never hurt. And I know I can live any hit, so I decided to stay in and click Extra Sensory, and luckily he does stay in and go for the Leech Seed. So now he's down to half. Now, this turn I'm thinking there's no way he wants to get rid of his Chestnut this early in the game. He's probably going to switch in something to take the hit, so I'm just going to go for Volt Switch and get out of there. If he goes Zeraora, that would be fine, because I could just Toxic the following turn, and that would be huge. But he goes into Latias, which is fine, so I can just Volt Switch out go into my Hippowdon now, because Hippowdon can tank any hit from this Latias. I can get a nice crunch off on it. Notice I didn't also bring my Latias as well to match his Mega Latias. It was in my mind, and I thought about it, but when it came to overall team comp, it didn't do too well. He's going to Mega Evolve now, and he does go for Psychic, revealing that he probably doesn't have Ice Beam. If he had Ice Beam, he probably would have went for it. Here I'm just going to go for Crunch to get some nice damage off, because, that's... now he's down to half. That's important. I do get the defense drop, which is kind of unfortunate for him, lucky for me, because then I could just stay in and click Crunch again. By the way, I did consider putting Rindo Berry on this Hippowdon for Grass Knot on Zeraora, because that thing was kind of scaring me in the end for Zeraora, because this is my main Zeraora and Latias counter, and the leftovers aren't really too necessary since I have Slack Off. But anyway, he goes into Chestnut, and I click Crunch. Doesn't do anything. It shows that he does have Rocky Helmet, which is fine. I don't really mind too much. Now, here I have my dedicated switch-in into Skarmory. Skarmory doesn't do too much in this match either, to be honest, besides wall this thing and a few other minor things like wall Togekiss. He does go for Drain Punch, probably predicting the Skarmory because Wood Hammer would have done nothing. So props to him. He didn't have... If he had spikes, he could have set it up. But he'll see that I have Rocky Helmet now, so he's not going to get any of that recovery back. So fearing that the Drill Peck or Brave Bird coming for me, I have Drill Peck on the set. He goes right into Heat Ran. I can't touch this thing, but luckily I do just go for my Rocks, predicting the switch-in. So Rocks are here to stay unless Latias or Togekiss has Defog, which is very likely that Togekiss has Defog. I could definitely see it being a support set. But here, I don't want to lose my Skarmory because Chestnut's still around, so I can get switch into Toxapex, and I can tank any hit from this Heat Ran, as he does the exact same thing as goes for the Stealth Rocks on my side. So that's kind of annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Now here, I decide he's not going to stay in, so we're just playing a switch game, fearing each other's moves, and we just continue to set up hazards on each other's sides of the field. So I have Toxic Spikes, so I'm going to go for them, breaking any sashes, well, even though the Rocks already do that, but... You know, you get the gist. Poisoning things is going to help. Now, here is a really big turn as he does end up staying in and clicking Leech Seed, predicting me not to go for a poison move or predicting me not to have it at all. But I do have the Sludge Wave, and this is going to take out the Chestnut. So that is really big right there. One wall on his team is gone, and possibly the biggest threat to Sharpedo that he brought is also gone. So now he's going to bring it back into Mega Latias. Now, this is screaming free recover because he wants to keep the Mega Latias as healthy as he possibly can. So here I go into Serena, predicting the recover. Now, I know Skarmory could take the Psychic better, or a hit better than the Serena, but again, I want to, since this thing is back up to full, I want this Latias to be as little health as possible. So he goes for Psychic, again, proving that he doesn't have Ice Beam, which is really nice. It does quite a lot of damage considering I am a Assault Vest. This allows me to get it a slow U-turn off though, which was the really important thing. It does a lot of damage to this Latias. Now, I did play around this Latias a little weirdly because I do end up going out the Raikou here. As you guys know of the moveset, which is Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Extra Sentry, and Toxic. I can't touch this thing, so I have to go for Toxic, which is what I do here. I don't know that if he's going to be like a Calm Mind or a subset yet. Either or would be pretty problematic because all I've seen so far is Psychic and Recover. And he could still easily have Calm Mind and a fourth move or Substitute in a fourth move. And Toxic is a good way to deal around both Calm Mind and Substitute. So now I put this thing on a timer, which is really important. Obviously I can't touch it, so I'm just going to switch out Volt Switch out of there, do a little bit of chip damage, not that that's going to matter. And now since Chestnut is gone, I can sack Skarmory now because I don't really need it. I have ways to deal with Togekiss and Toxapex and Raikou. So I'm going to come and take the Psychic relatively well, somewhat. Latias is going to take more poison damage. Now, I can figure out if he's got like Thunderbolt here because Thunderbolt hits Toxapex and Skarmory, which he does have. So this is going to take out my Skarmory, and that's fine with me. Which is fine because he can, Toxic damage is going to rack up, and I can start to go on the offensive pressure here, which is with Sharpedo. So this is pretty good. The only thing really stopping the Sharpedo at this point is either a Cell Rock, Lycanroc, or again Priority, or this Togekiss that actually comes in. Now, I really did want to click Poison Jab this turn, but I couldn't risk Latias going for Thunderbolt because I went for Protect here. Because if he went for Thunderbolt, that just knocks out the Sharpedo, and I just lose the game. So it was just too big of a risk, and I'll get the speed boost, but it won't really matter. Now here, I don't know what set this Togekiss is yet, so I just can't go for Poison Jab. If it is a really offensive Togekiss, I probably have a good chance of KOing it, but if it's like defensive in any way, then I can't, obviously. So I'm going to switch in my Togekiss to Toxapex. Okay, I can't talk. He reveals that the leftovers, so I guess that's good knowledge to know. I have Black Sludge, I'm going to get a little bit of recovery. He misses his Air Slash, which I guess kind of sucks, but here you'll see he goes for Air Slash again, which was kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. He does crit me, which is kind of annoying, but he does not flinch me, which is really important, because I can go for Sludge Wave and scout out what type of Togekiss this is. Now, based off the damage, it probably has a lot of HP, but it definitely doesn't have special defense. It's not max, so it might have HP, special attack, and it did a lot of damage, too, so I'm assuming he does have some special attack investment. So he's got some special attack and HP, so that's good to know, so I can gauge some damage out later. So I can just switch in Raikou. I can tank any hit this thing throws at me, considering he's not Specs or Life Orb or any damage boosting item, as he just does continue to click Air Slash, which is fine. It's not going to do a crazy amount. to my Raikou. He's going to get a little more health back, but that's fine because this thing is kind of crippled now, which is really important. And remember, rocks are on the field. And I feel like he would have went for Defog if he had it by now, so that's important information. Here, I just go for the Thunderbolt, going for damage. He does make the really smart play and goes into Zeraora. If you guys don't know, Zeraora does have Volt Absorb because it is, a new Pokemon, clickbait. But he's going to get all the health back, which is fine. I can just go for Extra Sentry. I don't really need Raikou now, knowing the set Togekiss has. He does end up going for a knockoff. I'm not sure. I think it was a roll to kill me. He does kill me, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Knocks off my Extra Belt. He does show Life Orb, which is, again, more good information to know. Now, Sharpedo can safely come in on this thing and click Protect, which is exactly what I do. I am going to take a little bit more Rocks damage, which is pretty annoying, but, what can you do? He is going to switch out, predicting my Protect, which, I have to go Protect, because I'm not just going to attack him straight up, because off chance he does attack me. This time, however, Togekiss is at really low health thanks to the Stealth Rocks, which was really big getting those rocks up. That makes a huge difference because if those rocks weren't up, you'll see in a second, I get my speed boost, so now I'm going to be faster than everything that isn't Scarf. As you'll see now, my Poison Jab is going to knock out this Togekiss, spoiler alert, because of those rocks. If it wasn't because of those rocks, it would have been probably some type of roll. So props to that. I do reveal on Life Orb. I don't really care about it. Now, I'm really glad I decided to put Poison Jab and the moves that I have. And I almost switched out Liquidation for Waterfall, which actually would have been really hurtful in this situation because Waterfall definitely has a smaller roll to Oko compared to this. If he's defensive, then that was definitely a roll, but if that was a pretty offensive Heatran or especially defensive Heatran, then it didn't really matter. So we take down Heatran, and just like that, Sharpedo's got 2 kills on the board. So things are looking really good. He sends out his Mega Latias, and my last move is Crunch, so I don't really have nothing to fear. Latias gets no priority whatsoever. And I'll just go for the Crunch, and there we go. Down goes the Latias, and we are looking really solid at this point. It was a crit don't matter. But all he's got left is this Lycanroc Dusk and this Zeraora. Now, I know Sharpedo can take out the Zeraora unless it's got Fake Out, and he does bring in the Lycanroc, and I'm thinking I could go for Protect just to see if he's got it, which I'm pretty sure he has it. I mean, what Lycanroc usually doesn't have a Cell Rock? And I didn't Protect here. He does go for the Cell Rock and knocks me out, which is fine because Sharpedo did a great job. I got 3 kills in this game. It took out a major part of his team. So now I'm thinking since Lycanroc is one of his Z users, he did not bring the Tapu Bulu or Lamach. I'm definitely expecting Lycanium Z here. So I can bring in Toxapex. I can't take the hit. I do want to apologize to you guys. I cannot actually show this. Aaron told me when he sent me this battle video that for some reason it won't let me upload the video if I show the Z moves animation. So it could be like a copyright thing. I actually don't know. I didn't really question it. I'm just going to go with it. So I apologize. You won't be able to see this epic animation here. But I did decide to go to Toxapex because Toxapex cannot do anything against the Zeraora. So if I want to make it be useful still, I can put it up against this Lycanroc. And I can take this Z move. I know I can, unless I get to crit. So it does a lot of damage, but you see I do live here, and now you can see the video again. I decided to go for Scald because I wanted to get some damage on this thing, which would be very important because Poison could probably take it out in a matter of a few turns. I didn't click Recover again because if I clicked Recover, and then next turn he goes for Stone Edge, which he does do, and he crits me, then I'm in a big amount of trouble. But he does go for Stone Edge, he lands it, unfortunate. But that's fine because now Lycanroc, I wanted this Lycanroc to live on a little bit of health, but unfortunately Lycanroc goes down. If he lived on a little bit of health, I could bring Hippowdon in and click Slack Off because I can definitely live any hit. Now here I decided to bring in Serena. You're probably thinking, why did I bring in Serena? I did this because if Zeraora's got Fake Out and Grass Knot, that's got a huge chance of taking out Hippowdon. So I didn't want to take the Fake Out damage. It turns out he just went straight for Drain Punch against this Serena. He gets a little bit of health back, but it's fine because I know Hippowdon's Earthquake is going to demolish the Zeraora. So it's definitely going to come down to this last turn of whether this Zeraora has Grass Knot. Luckily, if he does have Grass Knot, it's going to be a roll. HP Ice doesn't kill from this range. And the roll's kind of in my favor. It's like a 50-50, so it's really tight. But luckily, you'll see here, he does not have the Grass Knot. He goes for Drain Punch, does a decent chunk, but, clearly not enough to knock out my fat Hippowdon. And, Hippowdon's Earthquake is just going to absolutely destroy this Zeraora, and that is going to be the end of the game. So that was a really intense battle, I'm not going to lie. I was My heart was pounding like crazy near the end of this battle. We do end up pulling out a 1-0 victory, and we go up to 4-1. That is just absolutely amazing. One of the best starts I've had since the URL. So that we're doing really good. I'm really enjoying the team. I'm really enjoying the way I've been battling. Make sure to go check out Davian. I can't pronounce his name. I apologize. His channel in the description below, as well as every other amazing coach in this league. Next week we face our the Melbourne Stormthrows, and coached by I can't pronounce his name. His name will appear on screen because I cannot pronounce that. He joined my team before, so shouts to him. As of the recording of this, I usually end up having my battle done already, but I actually haven't battled him yet as of the recording of this video. So I can't tell you how next week's battle is gonna go, but like give you a hint at it. But you know, we're gonna hope it's good. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment anything you would like to comment. Make sure to check out my Twitter below. All this, I'll plug in everything. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.